Brad nicely on a regular basis in Indy 11 matches. And Austin Finley, they are our two assistant referees tonight. Opportunity here for Spring Arbor. Haven't had a touch yet inside of the 18. It's just a bit of a mistime pass. Throw incoming here for Spring Arbor. And Aiden Messenger will defer to a teammate on the restart. Guilherme Macalo, native of Portugal, a freshman, with the throw. Long distance ball and a foul. That foul goes against Justin Kapp, freshman from Ansbach, Germany. And a restart coming here from not that far away from the 18-yard box for the Cougars.
Yeah, dangerous spot. There's a lot of things you can dial up here. Either some quick interplay if Marian doesn't put enough guys on the wall, and it looks like they're going to have the numbers there to do that. So now it's, do you drive a ball in on the ground in between that gap between the wall and the block of players, or do you send a ball into the air on the back post and hope somebody's able to win it?
Jack Reynolds swapping out a spot on what is a two-man wall for the Knights at the edge of the 18. You see the conversation taking place as to who's doing what and where this is going for Spring Arbor. Bit of a reverse. The left foot sent in. Merchant got there for Marian. Swept a bit farther upfield by the Knights, but not out of danger just yet. And now it harmlessly rolls to Weigert. And maybe the first true scoring threat goes by the wayside for Spring Arbor.
Yeah, and a clever little restart. You know, you run a guy over the ball. He makes it look like it was an incorrect play, and then he comes back and serves it with the opposite foot, just trying to catch Marian off guard.
My partner, who spent over a decade playing professionally, both in this country, indoor and outdoor, and in Denmark, amongst other places as well, as a keeper, what sort of set pieces like that gave you the most amount of problem?
You know, the most difficult ones are not the shot. If the wall is set right, I've got my goal manageable. It's that ball that is played right in between kind of the edge of my range and the back of that back line. Those are the difficult ones because you're kind of caught in two places. Do I stay in and see if they're going to get a head of the ball or nick it on frame, or do I come out and see if I can reach it and box it away?
Tonight's match on ISC and Comcast 81, presented in part by AAA Roofing. When it rains, it pours, so trust the pros at AAA Roofing. That's who we call. Thanks to our tremendous ISC Sports Network crew. Thank you to Alan Hughes for filling in a pinch tonight. Vincent Morales, Alec Word DeFord. Thanks as well to Brian Pierce, Rob Lynch, and Wes Wolf on cameras for us tonight. And as always, we thank Mitch Huppert, the Sports Information Director here at Marian University, for making our jobs as announcers and crew so easy. This is Ben Dykstra, who will knock it forward.
Ball.
Fantastic ball. One time.
Wow,
finds the back of the net.
What a strike.
Braden Cosmet over to celebrate. Jack Voigt getting the plaudits. Voigt, the sophomore from South Lyon, Michigan. 1-0 Spring Arbor, 7 minutes in.
My goodness, what a ball over the top, recognizing that there's just a little bit of space behind that back line, and it's delivered perfectly where it just holds up on the turf, comes in, and a brilliant strike where he's able to put a little bit of movement on that ball and get it to dip.
Because of the matches my partner and I have called for the last 9 years,
I am thinking the same thing you're thinking.
Both of us tend to have a photographic recall of every goal ever scored by the Indy 11. Shades of Ioze to Eugene Starikoff from 2018.
Exactly what came into my mind.
That was a 50-yard dime that was sent to Voigt, who then finds the back of the net. 1-0 Spring Arbor for Voigt. That is his third goal of the season. The pass that we referenced, if you're an Indy 11 fan, you may remember that goal from the days at Lucas Oil Stadium. That may be like the single greatest assist I've ever seen in an Indy 11 match. That's how good that pass just was to set up that run at the edge of the 18.
It was brilliant. Not only just the recognition, but then the technical ability to deliver it. And then in the manner it was driven in there, it had enough backspin on it to lay up that it wasn't going to run out for a goal kick.
Well, we talked about, the confidence being a bit rattled because of the recent struggles for the Marian University Knights. Take a look at this ball again, sent in by Dykstra. And again, because of the football yard markings, that's why we can give you a precise 45 to 50-yard ball. One hop, one time, back of the net beauty.
And you take a look at the difference in just inches in a game. That ball is coming down at the exact spot where he's coming in to strike it, and he's able to then put a little bit of backspin on that ball that allows it to dip over the goalkeeper. But a brilliant ball that, we talk about all the time. A couple of things as coaches. One, if you can't get pressure on that ball to deny the serve, you got to make sure you drop the back line to keep play in front of you.
Well, Dykstra the assist, his second of the season, was trying to spring Schneider on the next effort. Ball couldn't get to him. Now Gonzalez hustling over, and Gonzalez's ball was an errant one intended for Nate Van Koolen. But again, Marian, after some really good results, including a 2-2 draw against Division I IUPUI to start the year, they have struggled as of late. They were swarmed by Rio Grande 10-1 a couple of weeks ago. Lost to a good Grace ball club over the weekend, and I think the last thing that Mark Castro wanted to see was his team chasing the game some 7 minutes in, but here we are.
Yeah, early goals are difficult. You take basically what you've worked on in your game plan for the week, and now it's out the door. But, when you have a 10-1 loss, the response is what you're looking for as a coach. And for them to come out with Grace, who's number 8 in the nation, and then, only concede 2 goals, that is an impressive response.
Abdul Rahman Al-Rashed was fouled. And we referenced they have a player from Iraq. That is him. And in all the years that I have been doing college soccer, professional soccer, I don't think I've ever had the pleasure of saying from Baghdad, Iraq in a match. That is the case for the young man that was fouled. And it will be another free kick from a dangerous spot upcoming for the Cougars.
Right. This is right on the edge where I don't think you're going to put it on frame. But it all depends on what kind of tools you got in your toolbox.
This is Jeff Victoria. And again, this would be from 27 yards out. Gives it a go and just pulls it wide. Weiger seemingly had that one covered.
Yeah, I struggle with those. I mean, that's 27. That means you have to hit basically the shot of your life in that moment to be able to beat, a keeper of Weiger's caliber. So in that scenario, are you looking to hit that perfect window, or maybe there's some kind of combination where you can give your team a little bit better opportunity?
I have referenced my partner's announcing background with yours truly and his playing background as well, but let me give you his coaching background. Wrapping up his 33rd and final season as a college head coach, combining his days on both the men's and women's teams at Rose-Hulman and at his alma mater, DePaul University. How much time in practice sessions and training do you spend on set pieces and free kicks like that?
Depends on my team. If I've got a really high IQ tactical team, we may not need to spend as much. We've got a really good couple of technical guys that I know can deliver the ball I want. So we've got basically a core of 5 different restarts that we're going to dial in from 35 yards and in. And they've got them all on paper. We expect them to study them all, and I'll call what I see from the sidelines. And they can override me, but if they override me, it better be dangerous.
David Green on the throw, swept away by Messenger for Spring Arbor. Back to the back line, and Pritchard will try to organize, but McCullough steps in the middle of it. Reynolds got a boot to it for Marian. But Messenger able to find some space, and again, trying to play it long. This time with not the same level of success, but not in a danger just yet. Schneider, toe poked away for a moment by Blanco. Schneider gives it a hit. A couple of skips to it, and Weiger able to make the play. Take a look at the latest long-distance shot. Weiger getting action in his 8th match of 10 this year for the Knights. He's allowed 10 goals. He's had 27 saves coming in. His goals against average, 1.74. And the young man from Fishers, also a third-year member of this club and part of a rather famous family of soccer players from central Indiana. There's been a handful of Weigers that we've talked about in professional and college ranks in these parts over the years.
Good lineage, good genetics.
Reynolds finds it. Lets Al-Rashed go by.
That was a good transitional moment for Marian. The pass was a little bit behind. It slowed play up. It allowed Spring Arbor to get numbers behind the ball and deconstructed that transitional moment.
Van Keulen paused for a moment because he thought it was offside, and he was right. Flag goes up for the first time tonight. Restart coming just outside of the 18 for the Cougars of Spring Arbor.
It's crazy how sometimes players do that. They'll hold up. They think I was offsides. They have this little body language thing that says I might be guilty of something. And the linesman's kind of in two places. Was that offsides or not? And then they see the body language and raise the flag.
Always act like you're onside,
exactly,
kids.
Always.
Is the lesson being given to you by a man that's lived this life for the last 40-something years. Ball knocked forward and too strong of a touch there. Goal kick coming for Spring Arbor. 14 minutes in. That really was kind of the first spell of possession in the attacking third for Marian here in the match. Building from the back is Spring Arbor. LeBlanc, their netminder, getting action in his 7th match out of 10 this year. Foul going to be whistled against Kyle Alb, the freshman from Crown Point. LeBlanc's goals against average under 1 on the season, .91 to be precise. 15 saves and 3 1-1 is his record so far on the year.
And a really smart play by Gonzalez on that restart. He recognizes that the back line is not set, that the shape is not good. Spring Arbor has a restart at midfield. They've already shown that they're lethal on serving a ball over the back line. So he steps up in front of that ball and just doesn't allow the restart to go until his back line is set.
Little possession on the back here for Marian. Reynolds the target. Knocked back to midfield by the Cougars. Dykstra will knock this ball forward. Van Keulen applying pressure for Marian. Here's Messenger, a name we have called frequently this evening. Ball touched forward. Alb hustles back and plays the side, but again, good combinations, and they're not really exactly playing through the midfield, but it's working for Spring Arbor.
It's effective for them. They're moving the ball across the back line, and they're delivering it right into the feet of their front three, and then looking to build off of that.
Nathan Ntalu was the target that time. Their leading goal scorer was 6 on the campaign. Transition moment here for Marian. Not sure if that was intentional by Reynolds, but it worked out just the same. Van Keulen works his way around a defender. Now there are numbers forward for the Knights. Green gets a touch.
Clever.
Nice play. Just couldn't get the shot away. Good cap. But that is exquisite build-up by Marian. And a throw-in coming for the Knights.
And that's where I think a lot of the momentum and energy is going to come from Marian, are those transitional moments. Can they get into the attack? Can they get some combinations in the attacking third and build off of that and gain a little bit of confidence in those moments?
Now, Marian, again, has been chasing the match for the last 10 minutes. I don't have exact numbers on possession. Trust me, it has been tilted in favor of the visitors so far. Good looking throw. Goes all the way to the back post. Gonzalez digs in. Plays it across, looking back post, and cap one touch. Second touch doesn't get through. It will be a goal kick.
Oh, great turn by Gonzalez. He's in a triple team, basically. With only a couple of yards to work with up against the end line, is able to turn the defender and deliver a ball across the box.
Gonzalez, no goals, 1 assist this year. Leads the team, though, in shots taken with 21 for the third-year man from Puebla, Mexico. Gonzalez, a takeaway.
That's the ball that's getting them right now. They're working. Spring Arbor's working it out to their wing back, and he's just laying a ball right down the line. And it's that wing attacker that's coming into that space and looking to just get the first touch on it. And then either a back is coming up or one of the midfielders tucking underneath, and they're looking to combine off of him.
Well, Marian growing into the match here.
And possession helps. That is something that, when you're back's against the wall, when you're down a goal, when you need a little bit of energy, holding on to the ball just helps all of that.
A little too much on that one. LeBlanc with really no pressure on him to come out and make that play.
And that's not a bad idea if it's further up the field and the back line is a little bit higher up. See if you can bend a ball back in there, and maybe see if Van Kulen can catch the other side of it.
Schneider was the target in the midfield for Spring Arbor. This has not been a match for extended possession in the midfield going in either direction. Intalu gives it a hit.
Yeah, dangerous. He came back. He received that ball. Great touch to bring it down, but the Marian back line just dropped off of him and allowed him to turn. No need to combine with the midfield. He had space to turn and go to goal.
6 goals for Intalu this year. Little back heel that, well, didn't go to the intended target. Victoria takes it away for Spring Arbor. Intalu played the turf perfectly to work that ball around a defender. I'm sure that is a lesson to be learned for players from outside of this country that come here to play collegially. Amount of turf fields they play on once they get here. Dykstra to Victoria. Victoria trying to work his way around Reynolds. Beat one defender. Foul going to be called on the loss of the ball by Green for Marian. That's a tough find if Gonzalez can get there. He does. And plays it across, finds a pocket of space. Green gives it a hit. Defender got in the way. Merchant keeps it pressing forward for the Knights. Gonzalez resets. Didn't miss Green by much. First time we've seen Marian really throw a lot of numbers forward.
And those dangerous moments are coming through Gonzalez right now, and really almost out of nothing. He's had the ball, but he's had defenders congest his space, and he's been able to find a little bit of a window and put a dangerous ball in for Marian.
Foul Spring Arbor, restart a quick win for the Knights. So possession starting to level in this match now, even if the score has not, and LeBlanc again has not exactly been put in a dangerous position just yet by the Marian offense. Here's Green. Working his way towards the corner flag and taken away by Spring Arbor. Well done by the Cougars. Alb is back for the Knights. Blanco gets a boot to it. Al Rashed now charging forward. Ball play just to open space by the visitors. Player down behind the play for Spring Arbor, and with the possession in a kind of a non-threatening spot, we'll stop to check on the injured player, and the clock will stop with just past 24 minutes left to go here in the half, and Rude Schneider is the player that is down. Training staff will come out to take a look.
And he's been so effective as the winger on the left side as they build and they play into his feet, and he settles the ball, he keeps it away from the defender, and then he just waits for a little bit of support. If the support doesn't come, he's shown a couple times he's willing to turn that ball and take it into the middle and create for somebody else or create for himself.
Well, Schneider is okay. He'll be waved back in a matter of moments. Let's thank our friends at Pepsi. Grab a Pepsi and some friends and get in the game. Pepsi, proud partner of the Marian University Knights.
Oh, that's a great touch.
Ball played out to the right side. Talu was the target. Cap able to work it away.
It's a great turn by Cap.
Reynolds able to maintain possession. Swings on the flank out to Gonzalez. Gonzalez, a lengthy run. Again, turns the corner, just couldn't get his steps right. Couldn't get that position to make the full cross, put it in front of the face of goal.
Yeah, you called it exactly right. He couldn't get his steps right. That ball didn't lay out far enough for him to get a full stride and get a good serve, and kind of got caught underneath him, and he was already in the mindset that he was going to deliver the ball into the middle.
I do get a kick out of Gonzalez feeling he needs gloves tonight. It's in the 50s as we speak. 3 years has not acclimatized him to the conditions here in the fall at Marian. Again, well defended by Spring Arbor.
Well defended.
That's going to be a throw-in coming for Marian. Ball was taken across the touchline inadvertently by the Spring Arbor midfielder. That was Voigt, the goal scorer, that couldn't maintain possession.
Yeah, just enough pressure on his back to put a couple different ideas in his head.
As the campus bells ring at the bottom of the hour. 7:30 local time, 23 minutes into this one. Spring Arbor's had the lead now for the last 16 minutes and change on Voigt's third goal of the year.
Well, this is good. You know, you look at the tilt in this game. It's been Marian holding the better play in their attacking half, and Spring Arbor having to play a little bit of counterattack.
Trevor Kaku, by the way, is warming up if needed for Spring Arbor. Ball finds Reynolds at the edge of the 18 and quickly bumped off of it by McCallow. Now Schneider charging forward. Gonzalez trying to catch up to him.
Great recovery run.
And did exactly what he needed to. Although Schneider then works it right back. And that's going to be a foul, yep. That last bit of unnecessary contact for Gonzalez. You get a great look at it here. Right there, right foot. Great camera work to show that to you.
And you can almost feel that from the bench. You see he's put in a 50-yard sprint to recover. He felt he got fouled, and you just had this sense he's going to get up and not be happy with the no call.
And for a third time, Spring Arbor will have a restart just outside of the 18. Last one was a hit directly on goal. Victoria will take it. Blanco and Gonzalez concert a two-man wall. Victoria looking back post. Marian got to head to it first. Reynolds will carry it as far as he can to get it out of immediate danger. Good looking ball here. Third time again that Spring Arbor's had a restart in that vicinity. They haven't really done much with either of the last two. Kaku will check in at the next stoppage in play for Spring Arbor. Don't imagine we'll see many first-half subs just because that is how pristine the weather conditions are tonight. You will not be taxed by the conditions this evening.
Isn't that crazy? What is it, just a week ago it was 90?
Welcome to Indiana in September. Alb will swing it left side. And Spring Arbor has been, frankly, allowing the Marian backs to kind of possess it. Not exactly offering on a high press. They let their defenders win back possession and then maintain it from there.
If you're Coach Castro, I think you're happy with the response from your team, and you're never thrilled about conceding an early goal. But you know, one of the things you're looking for is how does it change the psychology of our players? And you look at the response from Marian. They've had a number of opportunities, held a number.
What a hit! What a hit from the edge of the 18. We have seen a couple of world-class strikes tonight, one for each side. That is the freshman in Justin Kapp, and we're all level, 27 minutes in.
Holy smokes, what a hit.
So for Kapp, that is his first Marian goal. Again, the freshman from Ansbach, Germany. That is just his fourth shot of the season, his third on goal.
Hey, if you've got a 25% efficiency rate, I'm just doing the math in my head, you're going to have your number dialed up a whole lot more.
See, you're much more willing to give these arguments now that you're entering your last 6 weeks as a college head coach,
right,
than you would have beforehand.
Well, I got to admit, too, the 1 and 4 is a lot easier math for me as well.
So a goal apiece.
Brilliant touch.
But the flag goes up. By the way, let's update you on, again, the reverse fixture, if you will. The Marian women have a 1-goal lead against Spring Arbor. Maya Decker with the goal for the Knights. And that is number 2 versus number 3 in the nation. Justin Sullivan's squad looking for the huge 3 points on the road in that one.
Hey, I do have some Spring Arbor Indy trivia for you. Don't think I forgot. Don't think I didn't do my homework.
And again, let the viewing audience in. Brad has, when we do Indy 11 matches together, he always has trivia for me relating the 2 teams that are playing each other and trying to give the folks here in Indianapolis a bit closer of a feel of home as what connects the 2 teams. So we'll get to it in just a moment. I'm curious the Spring Arbor Indianapolis connection here.
I'm going to keep you guessing.
I appreciate that. Ball tried to play through. Van Koolen was the target. Ball didn't get to him. Neuhold couldn't touch it. And now onside, off to the races. Schneider charging forward. Intalu a target as well. Ball never got through to Intalu.
And great defensive transition by Marian. You know, it was an unfortunate ball that sprung Spring Arbor out on the wing. Marian just sprinting back, getting numbers in the box.
And now it is 3v4. Reynolds will walk to the right side. Gonzalez, Van Koolen. Here's Victor Blanco, the native of Caracas, Venezuela. Reynolds sizing up his options. What a ball. Now get to a first position to shoot it. The answer is yes. That did take a turn. Corner coming. First of the match for the Marian Knights. That's a great find by Reynolds.
I tell you, this is an interesting match psychologically. You know, the way it started, and then this last 15, 20 minutes, Marian has just been on the front foot this entire time.
It seemed like that goal kind of woke him up, kind of got him into the match. Van Koolen sends it in.
Great serve.
Good-looking ball. Didn't miss the oncoming header by much. That was Cap that was looking for a brace in the matter of 3 minutes. Goal kick coming. Let's thank our friends at BSN Sports. BSN is the preferred provider of apparel for Marian University Athletics. Hit me with your trivia, good sir.
All right. Do you want an easier one or a harder one? I got 2.
I wasn't prepared for trivia tonight, so easy, please.
Okay, the easy one is Jackson County, Michigan, is where Spring Arbor is.
Yes.
There is an Indy Colts connection.
Tony Dungy.
Son of a gun. How did you get that?
I know these things. You got to remember, I covered the Colts daily during Tony's day.
I understand, but you've got all the NFL teams, all the cities he's been in. Next one you'll never get. So,
well, thanks for giving me the easy one then. At the edge of the 18, left foot doesn't get through. That was Kaku that couldn't blast away. Not out of danger just yet. Well defended by Marian. The pendulum has swung. Seemingly whoever gets the goal, the other team then charges forward after that goal, which makes this for a pretty fun match to broadcast.
Oh, clever.
Well done to drag that ball away. That was Blanco. Now Reynolds has Gonzalez to his right. Well, clearly some of the moving of the pieces here on the chessboard by Coach Castro is paying some dividends for his team. Cool on the target. Dykstra comes down with it.
Early on, that first 20, 25 minutes, Spring Arbor was having no difficulty at all finding the feet of their front three. And now it's long balls, and it's balls that Marian stepping in and winning.
And a reminder, no overtime this year in men's or women's regular season collegiate soccer. We'll just play the 90. And again, now that we are in conference play, terms like 3 points, a point, very much in play in terms of the Crossroads League standings. 9 conference matches as all 10 teams, all 10 institutions rather, fielding both men's and women's soccer programs. Ali Ahmad about to enter when given the opportunity for Spring Arbor. When he enters the match, I will throw trivia right back at Brad's direction.
What?
Absolutely. It's a trivia give and take tonight. Foul whistle against Spring Arbor. And this one, you'd have to be awfully eager to give this one a hit to put it on target from this distance out, some 35 yards away. Reynolds wearing the captain's armband stands over it. Looking back post, Alb heads it down, and the freshman gets the goal. Marian with a 2-1 advantage.
Just a brilliant ball delivered in by Reynolds. Look at this. Right out of the reach of the keeper, over Dykstra for the goal.
Some unlikely heroes for Marian. For Alb, that is his second shot of the season.
50%.
Well done. For the freshman, his first goal in a Marian uniform, and Knights enjoying a 2-1 advantage. With the goal, we'll see some substitutions roll through. Cameron and Kelton Hooker both enter. The natives of Monument, Colorado, and Colorado Springs, Colorado, respectively. Ali Ahmad will enter for Spring Arbor. Exiting for the Cougars, Rude Schneider and Ben Dykstra. We'll get that other substitution for Spring Arbor to you in a matter of moments. Ali Ahmad from Lansing, Michigan, from Everett High School in Lansing, Michigan. Can you name the famous athlete that is a graduate of Everett High School in Lansing, Michigan? Would you like a hint?
Magic Johnson?
You don't need a hint. You got it. Well done. Look at you. Check out the big brain on Brad.
Yes, the only athlete I know from Lansing, Michigan.
Well, you nailed it.
I did.
Throw in coming here for Spring Arbor.
Goal for Spring Arbor, it was number 6, Francis Quashie, and 30, Ali
So
Ahmad.
Francis Quashie is the other substitute, junior midfielder from Toronto. Here's Hooker. Cameron wears number 14. He's a sophomore. Kelton wears number 33. He is a junior. And Kelton, a transfer from the NCAA Division II level from the University of Colorado at Colorado Springs. This ball just kind of a hit and hope, and Alb got away with one contact. He got away with the second one.
Well, I think they each got one, but you don't get two.
Maybe Alb got the benefit of scoring the goal. He got away with the first little chicken wing of a nudge there.
It's crazy here. There was so much success from Spring Arbor playing that ball just down the line, looking at the feet of the wingers, and then building off of that. And now everything is a long ball in the air in front of the Marian back line that they can step into.
Spring Arbor 4-3-2 on the season. Marian 3-5-1. Jeff Victoria sends it in. Looking back post. Not out of danger just yet. Attempted bicycle. Didn't make contact and swept back to the midfield, where TJ Withrow will settle things down and reset for Spring Arbor. Again, the long distance ball cleared by a few yards. Victoria, a blast that did not get through. I believe that was Dylan Merchant that got in the way. Al-Rashed trying to get back on his right foot.
Well defended.
Left foot sent in, and Weiger up to the challenge. on the ball from Ali Ahmed. If you're Mark Castro, as now in your final 10 minutes of half number one, if you can get this to halftime at 2-1, what's your message to the guys in the locker room?
It's positivity and energy. You know, you've come through a tough 4 games, and you needed something. You changed the lineup up a little bit. You've gotten a great result from it. But the biggest thing, too, is the response. You go down a goal early, and you fight back, not only equalize, but then go up one. That's a big galvanizing moment.
Zach Quanti amongst 3 Marian players that are standing where a 4th official isn't tonight. You don't often get that at this level of college soccer. Alan Tenorio and Evan Doughty amongst those that await to enter the match. Doughty scored in his first college match. A 1-0 win against Brescia back on August the 20th for the former Hamilton Southeastern Royal. Withrow sends it in. Now Merchant. And Merchant can play a bit of a different role. We've seen him play more of a center back. He's now kind of coming in a holding midfielder for this Marian team.
What a find.
Hooker is onside. Plays it across, and keeper got a hand to it and eventually able to control it. LeBlanc, that thing popped free on him for just a moment. It looked like the spin of the turf might take it in. Dicey.
You know, as a goalkeeper, those moments happen in slow motion. You're watching that ball come down, and it's like it's never going to drop into my hand.
Two-1 Knights.
Look at that ring of space that's around Reynolds in the middle. When Marian wins that ball, if they can find his feet and then build through him, right in here, boom.
Reynolds has been waiting the last couple of years to get on the pitch for this Marian team. Hooker in the center of the park. Swings it wide to Gonzalez. Now Pritchard will step on it for a moment. Another one of these young men playing a couple of time zones away from home. Mark Castro and assistant coach Joe Schulman have cultivated a I-70 pipeline to get from Colorado to Indy.
A couple stops in St. Louis.
Well, you can't stop in Kansas. There's no place to stop on that drive. As I look at my friend that has driven across the country on a Cub Cadet mower over the years.
Yes.
Ball played forward here. Opportunity here for Spring Arbor. Ball played across. One touch to settle. Second touch for a teammate, and giving it a whack at the edge of the 18 where the Cougars just didn't put it on frame, and now we have a bevy of substitutions awaiting. We've given you the 3 names for Marian that will all enter. Aiden Avalos will enter for the first time for Spring Arbor. He is another freshman from Toronto, Ontario. Fans, joining the M Club is the absolute best way to support student athletes at Marian University. For more information, visit marian.edu/mclub. Couple of good touches here for Spring Arbor. How about that find? And a high skill level in this match so far, no doubt.
Oh, good build.
At the edge of the 18. Oliver Shedd couldn't keep it at his feet. Hooker plays it left side. Good give and take between these two. Neuhold, sliding tackle, didn't get to the ball in time, but couldn't get much on the shot or cross, whichever one it was, and Weiger quickly able to settle things down for Marian. And Brad, you get the feeling we've already had 3 goals. There could easily be many more left in this one.
And, you know, if you're Coach Castro and Marian, you just want to navigate this final 5 minutes. You don't want this going into half 2-2 because all the momentum, all the positivity changes with that goal.
And Marian looking for a first league win, just the second league match of the season. Last year was the first time in over a decade that Marian was able to host an opening round matchup in the Crossroads League tournament. And those not familiar with the Crossroads League, you get to host based on your seed. If you're the number 1 seed, you can host up to 3 matches. Number 2, you get up to 2. 1 through 2, 3, 4. I'll get to host opening round matchups, and 8 of the 10 teams make the postseason.
And Spring Arbor needs to find a way to jam the middle up a little bit. Reynolds has got like a 20-yard ring around him where he's able to come and go, and they're building through him, and they're creating dangerous opportunities from it.
Tenorio, his first couple of touches. Tenorio, the sophomore from Puebla, Mexico. Ali Ahmed with the takeaway. Knocks it forward. Alb got in the way and was sent sprawling by Intalu.
And such a great ball by Ahmed, just bent in behind that final defender. Puts Weiger in a situation where he's either got to come out and get it with his feet or sit back, and it doesn't look like if he sits back he's going to be able to have his defender win that ball.
So Weiger on the restart. This casually knocks it about 60 yards down the field. Reynolds applying pressure for the Knights. Aldershed. Flag stays down. Knocks this one across. Ahmad had to double back to track this one down. Will get it in time before it hits the touch line. McCallow. Back some 25 yards to the row of defenders. Quashie, the next touch. Now Messenger. Give and go. McCallow, well done. As soon as we praise the buildup, simply an errant touch for Spring Arbor, and the possession goes away.
And just navigated really well by Marian. There was no window to deliver that ball. Spring Arbor's just knocking it around. They couldn't find a gap big enough to be effective with the ball driven into the box. And eventually, they have that bad touch, and Marian wins possession.
Under 2 minutes left to play before we get to halftime. And a moment of brilliance on the goal from Jack Voigt on the ball from Ben Dykstra. Gave Spring Arbor the lead. And it was Justin Kapp and Kyle Alb, a pair of freshmen, both getting their first goals in a Marian uniform in the span of, really about 4 or 5 minutes time. It has put Marian in front for their 4th win of the season. Now McCallow. Talu the target. Ahmad the outlet. Right idea on a good-looking run, knowing the time is of the essence. Just couldn't find his target in Avalos. And it has not taken long for either side to go from defense to offense here. Here's Zach Quanti. Foul, and again, you blow that one quickly knowing what time it is in the half.
And that would have been one with 40 seconds to go. Maybe you let that clock run a little bit, bring some bodies up, and have a serve and make it an effective last play of the half.
That's kind of what I was thinking there, too. Let's see if Spring Arbor has time to make Marian regret that decision. You'll hear the countdown from Mitch Huppert. That'll match the digits on your screen momentarily. And this ball is hit towards the building where the School of Osteopathic Medicine is, which means that there is little to no activity left in half number 1, which is rare because there's been plenty of activity in half number 1. Spring Arbor got the early goal, but Marian has answered not once but twice. The Knights have a 2-1 lead going to halftime. We'll take this quick timeout. We'll come back and get our halftime show as you're watching Marian University men's soccer here on the ISC Sports Network and Comcast 81.
Is your building haunted or infested with icky snakes? Then tear it down. The Raise Trash Demolition Squad can flatten buildings up to 3 stories tall. Whether it's a commercial or residential structure, the Raise Trash Demo experts will make it go boom. And with their roll-off containers, they'll haul away the mess quicker than you can say, hey, there used to be a building there. Bring your old fire trap to its knees with Raise Trash.
RaiseTrash.com.
Raise Trash.
Meet Chip. 30 years ago, he started a small business with a big idea. Today, there's a new building, a new fleet of equipment, and a new era of leadership. But we know Chip, and at Indiana Members Credit Union, we know he plans to keep growing, building business with the next generation. IMCU is here to help with secure and simple account management tools and commercial financing to grow business. Today, it's all about Chip. Tomorrow, it's all about you. Because at IMCU, it's you that matters.
Does your school offer high-quality education? Does it offer virtual or hybrid options? Marian University Preparatory School educates students in a safe, faith-based environment focused on college and career exploration. Here at Marian University Preparatory School, we empower parents and help students to master what they love and learn as they live. We are now enrolling students in grades 6 through 9 this fall. Full financial aid packages are still available. Act now to make MU Prep your school for 2022.
Own a home? Here's a tip. Don't dump your garbage in the street. Neighbors get fussy about that sort of thing. Instead, count on Raise Trash to haul it away. Raise can supply 96-gallon waste and recycling bins that'll make you the envy of the cul-de-sac. And when you need a roll-off container for that big job, guess who's going to be there for you? That's right, Raise. Your filth needs a place of its own. Raise Trash will move it there. You know where to go.
RaiseTrash.com.
Raise Trash. Own a home? Here's a tip.
Got an absolutely gorgeous night here on the campus of Marian University, and pretty good soccer to boot as well. 2-1 Marian leads Spring Arbor in this second league match for each of these two teams. Going alongside Brad Hodder, Greg Rakestraw with you. Thanks for joining us on ISC and Comcast 81. Tonight's game presented in part by IMCU. Proud to support Marian University and now offering a free Marian Knights debit card with a free checking account. Get your Knights debit card today and show your support. Visit any IMCU branch or sign up online now at imcu.com. Membership savings required. Federally insured by the NCUA. My partner has been a part of Division III soccer, first as a player and then as a coach now for the last 27 years. But obviously, you're trying to recruit those players that you think in other places will be scholarship athletes. What is it like for you seeing the difference in the D3 level versus the NAIA level we're seeing tonight?
Yeah, what's interesting is that the top tier teams in Division III, I think, are on par with virtually everybody.
Yep.
And you talk about how you reach in recruiting. You're going for Division I players, and all you need to do is get 1 or 2 a year, and you can change a program. And so the level is good, the pace is good. There's a pretty good flavor to this game. You look at the blending of the international players, and that's a really difficult thing for both coaches to do, because each country has their own kind of playing style and the way they want to do things, and so you have to kind of bring that together and then round it out with the American players in your roster and get a team that can be cohesive on the field.
It's funny, a friend of mine that spent time coaching at the Division III level, all that amazes you, other friends that have coached Division III other than just you.
Friends, period.
Since you won't let me come to games after 8 years. But that's a conversation for a completely different broadcast. Basically, a friend said, at the Division III level, because the amount of Division I or Division II schools don't play men's soccer, Title IX, football, etc., the caliber of player you see at Division III is higher in soccer than maybe in some other sports. How often, as a Division III coach, are you kind of recruiting against the D2 and NAIA coaches here in this state?
Very often. And you talk about not just Title IX and some programs not at the higher levels having men's teams, but the level of club soccer in the United States right now is at such a high level that the kind of kids that we're getting right now are the kind of kids we had hoped for a decade, 2 decades ago that would come to the program. The level of play is just rising because of everything they're doing at the youth level.
Quick check of the halftime numbers. Both teams had 6 shots. Spring Arbor had 4 shots on goal. Marian had just 2 and clearly made the most of those. 3 saves for Brendan Weiger. He did allow 1 goal. Spring Arbor, 7 fouls. Marian, 6, just 1 corner. And both teams were deemed to be offside on 1 occasion in the half. Look at our score at the break. It is Marian 2 and Spring Arbor 1. We'll take this quick timeout. We'll come back with more from St. Vincent Field in a moment as you're watching Marian University men's soccer on ISC and Comcast 81.
Meet Kate. She has a lot to juggle. Family, work, it can lead to trying days and tired nights. But we know Kate, and at Indiana Members Credit Union, we know at some point her space at a premium life may change. IMCU is here to help Kate and you find your space. Now, add on or remodel with an introductory rate of 1.9% APR on a home equity line of credit. Today, it's all about Kate. Tomorrow, it's all about you. Because at IMCU, it's you that matters.
What's better than 100 pieces of pepperoni? How about 150 pieces of Donato's Crispy Pepperoni? Yup, the Pep 150 is back with more of what you love, piled edge to edge on that golden thin crust. It's pepperoni topped with pepperoni and more bang for your pepperoni buck. Now get a large Pep 150 for just $1 more than a large pepperoni pizza. Donato's, every piece is important.
Marian University is like a home to me. Campus is where I made friends that I know will last a lifetime.
Academics, sports, or arts, Marian's got something for you.
Plus, downtown Indy is just 10 minutes away from campus.
I'm a huge sports fan. Living in Indy, I've got the Knights, the Colts, and the Pacers.
Applying was so fast and easy.
I went to Marian for the education, but what I took away was the experience.
Marian University offers an exceptional education and an unforgettable experience. Apply today for full scholarship consideration at marian.edu.
This is the Pepsi for America's best barbecue. Worthy of 100-mile detours and 1,000 likes. Looks good. This is the Pepsi for mopping, dipping, and dousing. Whatever you're craving, this is the Pepsi for you. This is the Pepsi for serious fans and serious eats. This is the Pepsi for Sundays at the ballpark and days off at your favorite pizza joint. Right, Aaron?
Best slice in New York.
Whatever you're craving, this is the Pepsi for you.
Back on the near northwest side of Indianapolis, 2-1 our score. Marian leading Spring Arbor at halftime of this Crossroads League matchup. Tonight's game presented in part by our friends at Ray's Trash, proud partner of Marian University. 317-539-2024, raystrash.com for more information. A look at our first half highlights, and Brad, it did not take us long to find a goal in this match. It was less than 7 minutes in that Spring Arbor would find the back of the net for the first time.
No, absolutely incredible ball by Dykstra, just over the top. Look at how it hits the turf. Just lays up perfectly, and my goodness.
50 yards and a bounce. That was the pass that, again, in stride, Voigt put home.
And here's the thing, that goes against Weiger as a goal against, but he is in the exact right spot. That's one of those balls, when it leaves the shooter's foot, you just go, oh no.
Cap was a part of a great build-up prior to that goal. That time elected to go against the build-up, have a hit. And how about Reynolds with the service, and Alb heads it home for the go-ahead goal for now for Marian.
Perfect, right at the edge of the 6, just out of range of the goalkeeper, just over the center back. Marian converts it 2-1.
Reynolds, by the way, now takes the team lead in terms of assists with 4. Romeric Berneron, who unfortunately played 4 matches this year, also with 3 assists as well. All right, let's kind of go inside each of the locker rooms. Let's start with Marian. If you're Mark Castro, what are you keying on for half number 2?
There's 2 things. One, as long as they're going to allow this ring of space around Reynolds, build through him in transition. Second thing is, Spring Arbor was very effective in playing through Dykstra. And Marian just laid off of him and allowed him to deliver not just that ball, but he was playing balls into the feet of their front runners. I think you need a little bit higher press on Dykstra. Just contest his touches, make it difficult for him to look, find, and deliver a ball.
On the flip side, Marco Bernardini is in his 2nd year as the head coach at Spring Arbor. What is he talking to his guys about?
Well, if I'm him, I'm saying, look, somebody's got to step up in the middle and deny touches to Reynolds, first of all. And then the second thing, where they were so effective in that first 15, 20 minutes, was delivering the ball into the feet of their front 3. After that, after Marian kind of settled into the game, everything was a ball that was driven into them in the air. And while they've got the technical ability to bring it down and build off of it, they were incredibly more effective when the ball came into the feet of their strikers.
Again, a look at what the two teams are focusing on. Let's talk about the gentleman that's joining me. Again, Brad and I have been doing the Indy 11 games for the last 9 years. We've referenced his college background. The reason he is wrapping up his college days at DePaul is that he is taking on a full-time job as the Vice President of Marketing and Club Growth for the Indy 11. That officially begins at some point in November after hopefully a playoff run takes place for your DePaul University men's program. Just your thoughts about the upcoming new gig that you have not too far from that building we just showed in downtown Indianapolis.
Yep, I'm incredibly excited. I'm not ready to be done as a coach yet, but the opportunity came along to help build this club to another level and grow soccer through Indy 11. And, you know, for a guy that grew up in Indianapolis, playing club ball in Indy, playing high school ball in Indy, playing college ball just outside of Indy, having part of my pro career, having matches in Indy, Indiana soccer has done everything for me. It is everything about who I am. And so for me to be able to be in this role and give back to this community and give back to this club that is creating and building a pathway to pro for kids like me who are dreaming of getting to that level, I couldn't be more excited to be a part of it.
Of course, there's been a great tie in the early days of the Indy 11, the Marian University program. Gary Yohe, who has helped build the women's program in what is now these days, Gary is an assistant coach at Ball State University. But Gary was the first goalkeeping coach of the Indy 11 in the early days of the club, as the Indy 11 will wrap up their 9th season coming up in 2 weeks from tonight. They take on Birmingham Legion October the 12th. Brad and I will be together again coming up on Saturday night when the Indy 11 play host to FC Tulsa. You can see that match on ESPN Plus as well as My Indy TV 23. We'll take this quick timeout. We'll come back with second half action again from St. Vincent Field. It is Marian 2 and Spring Arbor 1. Back with the final 45 minutes next on ISC and Comcast 81.
I've always liked Indianapolis. I've been interested in the bigger city life. The community and everything fell into place.
With my degree, I plan on becoming a pediatric nurse. Indianapolis has several hospitals and different options to choose from as to where I should go.
I chose Indianapolis because I love the Pacers, I love the Colts, and this is a basketball city. Just wanted to stay in the city, play in front of my friends and family, and try to give Marian my best.
Who's got time for hot dogs and disco music? Your mind's cluttered with thoughts of commercial waste removal. So thank the good Lord above for Ray's Trash. Ray's will collect the intolerable rubbish at all your company's locations up to 6 times a week. That's 42 times in dog weeks. They shred documents and recycle too. And Ray's has roll-off containers for big loads, like construction waste or when your giant dies. Got a business? Get yourself to raystrash.com.
Ray'sTrash.com.
Ray's Trash.
Meet Zach. Day and night, rain or shine, even just out for a spin, Zach gets around. But we know Zach, and at Indiana Members Credit Union, we know he's been saving up to trade up. IMCU is here to help Zach and you drive your dream. Now get financing as low as 2.99% APR on a new or used vehicle. Today, it's all about Zach. Tomorrow, it's all about you. Because at IMCU, it's you that matters.
Still waiting? You could have been seen by an orthopedic specialist at Ortho Indy Urgent Care. Avoid the wait, cost, and drama of the ER. Ortho Indy Urgent Care. Orthopedic care without the drama. Find a location near you. Still waiting? You could have been seen by an orthopedic specialist at Ortho Indy Urgent Care. Avoid the wait, cost, and drama of the ER. Ortho Indy Urgent Care. Orthopedic care without the drama. Find a location near you.
Again, second half action is not too far away. Marian leading Spring Arbor by a score of 2-1. Tonight's match on ISC and Comcast 81, presented in part by Michaela's. From ground-up building projects to around-the-clock emergency security services, no one answers your prayers or the phones quicker than Michaela's. Call 844-FIX-INDY for more information. And we reference the fact that while the men are playing here in Indianapolis tonight, women are playing up in Michigan. That is number 2 versus number 3 in the country. That is a huge match in determining who could host as many games as possible in terms of the Crossroads League tournament in November. And right now it is Marian leading at Spring Arbor 2-1. We will certainly keep track of that match for you here on ISC and Comcast 81. Brad, what are your expectations here for the start of half number 2?
I think you're going to see from Spring Arbor what you saw in that first 15 minutes, them getting back to their game. From Marian, you got to love how your team has responded after 4 difficult losses. The 3-5-2 seems to be working for them. They're able to build through the midfield. I like the job Gonzalez is doing here on the right, so I think that ball that's been coming from Cap over through Reynolds over to Gonzalez and then back across the middle has been very effective for them. I'd love to see a little bit more of that.
This is the second road match out of both played for Spring Arbor so far in league play. They had a 2-0 victory at Huntington to open the season, the conference season, on Saturday. They then play host to Grace, and Grace is one of 2 teams currently ranked on the men's side in the Crossroads League. They are 8th in the country. Other ranked team is always a perennial powerhouse in this league. That is Bethel. Bethel checks in at number 13 this week. And we have now hit that point of the schedule where it's Wednesday, Saturday, or simply Saturday to Saturday. It is largely nothing but conference matches for each of these 2 teams for the rest of the way, as far as Marian is concerned. So their upcoming schedule here in a matter of moments for the Knights. Both teams about ready to get back to action. Weather conditions could not be any better. There's not even a breath of wind out here at this point. Marian will be heading towards the north end of the park here for half number 2. Marian will be on the road at the aforementioned 13th ranked Bethel Pilots, coming up to kick off the month of October.
And what a stretch of games in that schedule for them. This is a 5-6 game schedule against some really difficult opponents.
And Marian has dropped their last 4 matches. During that time, outscored 17-1. That was after starting the season in 3-1-1 fashion. LeBlanc heading back to goal. Knights are ready. After subbing on late, Kelton Hooker will stay on the park and start this portion of the match for Marian. And we are underway. And just 45 more left in this one. Even if Spring Arbor can find an equalizing goal or we're level at 3 or beyond, both teams will take a point home and we move on about our evening. The ball touched off a Marian player. Throw in coming here for Spring Arbor. Here's Withrow. Withrow, a sophomore from Berkeley, Michigan.
What a ball.
Good looking diagonal ball here. Player stays on side for Spring Arbor. But Marian had numbers behind. Trying to slide this one through. Pritchard got in the way for the Knights. Ball knocked forward for the Knights by Evan Doughty. Doughty is even playing a bit more of a defensive-minded role these days for the Knights. So Mark Castro has inverted kind of several pieces in terms of what they're doing.
And even when you put them on the field, there may be different roles and responsibilities that you expect of them in the half when you've got a 2-1 lead versus when it's 0-0. There may be a little bit more emphasis on, hey, stay home a little bit. Just make sure if you're going up, make sure it's on for us.
Through ball that couldn't latch onto a Spring Arbor player. And now Doughty will take more of an attack-minded role and head towards the midfield. And Weiger, a veteran move, just killed off about an extra 20 seconds by making the forward come to him. Reynolds with the flick forward. Doughty able to keep it in play. Had a quick glance at the AR. He pointed towards the middle of the field, and on we go.
And we talked about the body language.
Staying on side is Voigt.
What a ball.
Looking to find Ntalu. Cuts it back, left foot, sneaks it through, and we're tied at 2 apiece.
What a ball. You know, we talked about it at halftime that the important thing was to find the feet of the front runners as opposed to delivering the ball in the air. The ball is played perfectly into Voigt's path. It's a one-touch ball just in behind the back line.
Well, we said it in the first half. We thought there were going to be more than 3 goals in this one. And Nathan Ntalu gets his 7th in 10 matches. A freshman from Lille in France makes it 2 goals apiece. It was Voigt that was on the receiving end of fantastic service to start the match for Spring Arbor. That time Voigt delivered and give Voigt the assist, which is his first of the year. And the song remains the same. I don't think this is going to finish at 2-2, partner. Doughty plays it across. Loose change here for Marian. Now Reynolds with a couple of touches. Trying to cut back and find a window, and
oh, good touch.
Merchant, left foot doesn't get through. That was Quashie that got in the way for the Cougars, and now Ntalu.
Wow.
Could not sneak it past Weiger. He nearly had a brace in a minute.
That ball laid up perfectly for him.
Well, you can see with his speed why they have taken on more of a counter-attacking kind of posture.
Right. You just got to knock it into space. He's going to get it. And you look at that, and there's not a player on Marian's roster that – there's not a player on anybody's roster that doesn't look at the other team's statistics coming into a game. And so to see Ntalu with, 6 goals coming in and at a scoring pace of almost a goal a match, you know that he's drawing a little bit more attention than some of the other players that are up front. And so for him to get free twice now in the first 3.5 minutes of the second half is a bit of a concern.
Braden Cosmet with a left foot sends it in. Marian got a boot to it. Voigt will dig in and track it down. Quashie will switch up sides of the attack. Ball sent in, and Weiger had it lined up. Weiger made 3 saves at half number 1.
And good footwork to get back on that. As goalkeepers, sometimes you're reading where the space is. You're reading where the pockets are. You're starting to cheat into those spaces. You can see Weiger coming up saying, look, I'm going to extend my range a little bit because I believe this ball is going to be bent in behind the back line. So he's coming out. He's putting himself in position for that. And the cross was a little bit mishit. Turned into a bit of a shot. Weiger, good footwork to get back and collect the ball.
Foul committed by Spring Arbor. And there's that space in the midfield that Marian's been enjoying for most of the match. The Reynolds back heel doesn't find an expected target.
And that does frustrate me a little bit. You take a look at all the space that Reynolds has. Just got to bring that ball down, play simple.
Victoria takes a tumble. Quashie tackled away. Al Rashed gives it a hit, but couldn't keep it on frame from 35 yards out.
They are not shy about pulling the trigger.
Valentin Neuhold, the target. Sophomore from Vienna. Alb. That's going to be a foul against Spring Arbor. In just enough contact there by Messenger to displace the Marian midfielder. Messenger, another native of Ontario. From Ottawa. Perhaps Aiden watched one of our broadcasts of the Indy 11 versus the Ottawa Fury back in the day. Space to operate here for Abdul Rahman Al-Rashed. Will knock some 50 yards back in the direction by the Knights, and this allows Spring Arbor to reset. Marian content to let the center backs pass it back and forth. Now they'll pick things up as the ball crosses the midfield stripe. Merchant gets in the way. Takes a tumble and draws the foul. Spring Arbor conversely kind of picking up the high press a little bit more here now. We've not seen them do all of that much in the match.
What a touch.
Al-Rashed to his left foot. And Weiger able to fall on it. Al-Rashed did not get what he wanted to on there.
Yeah, and it's important that you keep a defender running with him. He's shown the willingness to pull the trigger from 30, 35. So he's looking for that ball, just a little bit of a window to pop. So you just keep running the defender with him and at him and just make it a difficult look for him.
See if Reynolds sees the safety valve out to his right. Merchant will hit it that way. Reynolds the target. Again, tries to slide it past the defender. A bit of just a turn of the boot, and now a foul against Merchant and Marian. We'll get possession back to Spring Arbor, just past the midfield stripe. This reminder, fans, get all of the up-to-the-minute information on Knights athletics when you log on to MUKnights.com. Follow on Twitter at MUKnights. That's at MUKnights. Restart here for the Cougars. Quashing to Al-Rashed. Marian with a takeaway. That's Neuhold. Ball played off of a Spring Arbor player. Throw in coming. Past the midfield stripe for Marian. Bit of a giveaway here. Hooker giving chase. And it's Cameron. And Cameron wears number 14. Kelton wears number 33. Offside flag goes up. Spring Arbor's player was in an offside position when he tracked back to make that play.
This allows Marian to get back into their shape. They got stretched a little bit odd. 5 guys in the back in a straight line. Nothing really in the midfield to work out of in transition.
Marian content to build from the back. The advantage certainly has been Spring Arbor's here at start half number 2, which is pretty much how it started in half number 1 as well. Cosmet. Voigt headed away. Both teams have a sub awaiting when given the opportunity. Hooker quickly plays it to the right side. Now he was the target and couldn't get back to the ball from Marian.
Yeah, it's the second straight possession that Spring Arbor's had where Marian's dropped so many players back that they just had no outlets once they win the ball.
Good recognition by Weiger as to exactly where he was, about 5 yards outside of the 18. And that'll be a foul against Spring Arbor. Here's Doughty. One of 3 players to have scored twice on the year for Marian. Their 13 goals have been scored by 10 different players so far this year.
Yeah, while you love that flexibility that you can score from a lot of places, you do need
a
somebody that shakes up and makes somebody nervous on the defensive line.
Well, Marian had that guy the last couple of years. His name is James Jenkins. And these days, he's hanging out in your office all the time as your assistant coach at DePaul University.
Yeah. He's been great. He's been a great pickup for us.
After approximately 16 years of playing college soccer, he is now your assistant coach at DePaul University.
He's going to have a long, good career as a coach.
Jenks from England that played at UIndy and then played briefly at LSU Shreveport and spent the last 2 years here playing for Mark Castro at Marian. Here's Doughty.
Good turn.
That's Reynolds. And Coolin, by the way, just checked back in for the Knights. Kaku back in there for Spring Arbor.
This is almost playing out like the first half.
Yep.
Early goal from Spring Arbor. They're on the front foot. Marian's trying to find their defensive footing, and then all of a sudden they grab the ball, and Spring Arbor's on their heels.
Withrow was a potential target. Didn't get the ball back from Victoria. Now Doughty,
great ball,
sends it in. Finds Van Koolen one time. Just pulls it wide. There's Nate Van Koolen.
Almost that same ball that Dykstra hit to Voigt early on. A ball just over the top. A little bit of spin on it that allows it to hold up. Van Koolen is able to run in and have that same kind of volley that Voigt had on the finish in the first 7 minutes.
A trio of substitutions here for Spring Arbor. Schneider will get a respite. Quashie heads to the sideline as well, and Victoria will have a seat.
Substitutions for Spring Arbor, number 30. Marian.
Liberalized substitution rules here in the second half versus the first. Throw in coming for the Knights.
Good pressure from Marian. You can see Spring Arbor. They want to build. They don't want to just keep banging a ball in the air up to their front line. And Marian did a great job of taking away all the angles, pressing the ball correctly.
Doughty.
Smart play by Doughty. He recognized that a player may be off sides, and he was looking at it and stepped on it, pulled it back, and said, we can't have a flag here. We got to keep possession.
And the local product from Hamilton Southeastern. And then Hooker. They're going to say he had a hold of the Spring Arbor player's jersey and was using that for leverage.
Okay, here you go. Here's your last Spring Arbor trivia. I'm going to give it to you now because you're going to need a lot of time to think about this.
Oh, okay, thank you.
Okay.
Yep.
This Indiana Fire product
okay.
went to Spring Arbor, scored 23 goals for them.
Okay.
Then went on to play for the Charlotte Eagles, Union Omaha, and now FC Tucson. Take that, Rakestraw.
Foul. Quick restart by Marian. Of course, FC Tucson and USL League One.
See, this is one of the problems when Reynolds gets stretched a little bit out of the middle. There is this great transitional space for Spring Arbor coming back.
Doughty. 3 at the back now for Marian. They've been more of a 3-5-2 alignment tonight. Weiger able to
great ball.
Knock that away from Intalu.
A little bit of pressure in his face and delivered a great ball into the midfield.
Reynolds. Pressured by Dykstra. Fouled by Dykstra. Restart coming.
Oh, what a find.
Can distribute that ball out of the midfield. Could Marian. Now Reynolds tracks it down. Reynolds slides it through. Left-footed cross. Van Kulen. Off the side netting. It will be a corner kick coming. The second of the match.
What a great ball. Just tucked in for a three-dimensional run. Tucked in behind the defender. Oh, my goodness, what a ball. They earn a corner from it.
Ball sent in, and LeBlanc.
As a keeper, you just love to see that ball floated in instead of driven in.
That ball knocked down. This could be a problem, although Ntalu couldn't get a first touch for it. Restart coming here for the Knights. Well, this has almost been a carbon copy of half number one. Spring Arbor on the front foot to start the half, and then Marian has, to some degree, kind of grown into the match. Players being waved on here. Jack Voigt and Jeff Victoria return for Spring Arbor. For Marian, David Green, Sebastian Gonzalez, and goal scorer Justin Kapp all return. Throw in coming here for Spring Arbor, some 19 minutes in.
Substitution for Spring Arbor was number 9, Jack Voigt, and number 10, Jeffrey Victoria. And for your Knights, it was number 27, David Green, 32, Sebastian
Dykstra,
Gonzalez,
with a good run going.
Yeah, they're effective building through him.
Kaku couldn't keep it at his feet. Green might have gotten away with a handball there.
Oh, good build here.
Kapp. Kaku got in the way. Kapp will restart. Now Neuhold. Now, one thing that has changed from half two to half one, Spring Arbor's been much more aggressive on the press than they were in the first half. Throw in coming for.
It's a good no call.
Marian. It's Cosmet. Aiden Avalos. Reynolds gets in the way for Marian. Good stand up that time by Kapp. This is about as long of a stretch as Marian has had to defend in tonight's match.
And really a nice job too. Spring Arbor kept looking to see can they find a penetrating pass? Can they find a ball through? Can they find a seam? Marian just wouldn't give it.
Tonight's match presented in part by First On Site, formerly More Restoration, here to help power you through whatever comes your way. Leading North American property restoration company, specializing in emergency response restoration and reconstruction following the disasters of any kind. From fire and flood to catastrophic storms or biohazards, they have the team, technology, and resources to help you restore, rebuild, and rise. Go Knights. Ball played off Withrow. It will be a corner coming for the Knights.
A clever little ball by Cap, just sent down the line.
For Marian, that will be corner number 3. Looking back post. Spring Arbor got there first. Marian carves out some space, trying to track it down. And it will be another corner.
Yeah, I like that quick corner when they only send one out there and you've got a 2v1 and you've got 2 technical players. Take it.
Left-footed shot that LeBlanc was able to track down with relative ease. Marian trying to put something together here. Merchant steps on it, but a rare errant touch from Merchant. And pretty much if you were on the bus for Spring Arbor, you're about to enter the match here, as they will send 4 players into the match. They did not need the full bus. A 15-passenger van pretty much covered it today for Spring Arbor coming down.
You know, with as cool as it is,
you don't need that many guys.
I'm surprised at how many substitutions both teams have made.
Yep. Here's Reynolds. Reynolds bumped off just enough by Al-Rashed. Good read. That was Alb, who does not play like a freshman on this Marian squad, getting his first goal of the season. And Talu was the target. And again, Alb was connected to him, didn't let him get past him.
That's such a great thing when you're kind of in that layer underneath a 9. That's a great goal scorer. Is your thoughts are not, hey, how do I combine here? It's just, where's the seam where I can slip him in?
Foul called against Spring Arbor. Tenorio in there for the Knights. Had a touch or two in the midfield. Merchant tries to slide it to him. Works around his defender. Could not find Gonzalez. Long distance ball. And contact will be called there, and that's going to be the first card of the match.
What a ball to find him in this really narrow seam.
So the yellow is shown for the first time this evening. We saw 2 or 3 of these in half number 1 for the first time in the second half. Now we will see, again, another dangerous set-piece opportunity coming up here. This one again would be from north of 30 yards out. Coach, where do you want to see this ball delivered?
If I got a player 32 yards out and they put it on frame, I'm going to be upset. Put it up in the air, give us a chance to get it back post.
Gives it a hit. Neuhold got there first, and Weiger.
Well collected.
Able to pick that up in traffic.
In great distribution, he recognizes Spring Arbor, loaded up the box, and he had a little bit of advantage. A great early recognition and delivery of a throw out to Cap.
$19 minutes left in this one. Flag stays down, but barring a jetpack, there was no way that Spring Arbor was going to track that one down. I think those are illegal, by the way.
Oddly enough,
I'm not sure. I'm not seeing an official ruling, but I'm going to assume that those were illegal.
Oddly enough, I can tell you there is nothing in the handbook or the rule book about jetpacks.
Perhaps there might be now going forward.
The rake straw rule.
All headed down. Nicely done by Cap.
Oh, that's brought down well. Great ball by Green.
And a foul against Marian. There's not been many chances for Marian here in half number 2. And Talu had just kind of taken a different turn on his run. And Weiger able to snare that one.
Yeah, whether it's fatigue or whether it's the team's pressing a few more numbers forward, the middle of the field is starting to open up a little bit for both teams.
Foul whistled against Spring Arbor. Now Cap, and off his foot, throw in coming here for Spring Arbor. This portion of this match presented by Donato's Pizza and Jordan Hospitality Group. They believe in loving our neighbors and giving back to the communities we serve. Well, we're proud to support both Marian University as well as Marian University Athletics. 20 locations in the greater Indianapolis area. Don't forget to swing by on your way home from tonight's game and pick up one of their famous thin crust edge-to-edge pizzas.
Trouble.
And Talu couldn't get a boot to it a second time. Then he goes down, and we'll stop the clock again, and we will see a potential another yellow card here. And with that, it will be a free kick from the edge of the 18, and it's going to go against Gonzalez. Now a bit of a dust-up here between the two teams. And a yellow is going to be shown. And a dangerous restart going to be coming here. Players told to scatter. And Merchant having none of Intalu's hand going to him. It was Schneider that is the player that is down on the turf for Spring Arbor. So second yellow of the half going against Marian.
And this, you are not dipping too far into your restart playbook
right
for this. Top of the box, 16 minutes to go. This is the opportunity to grab the 3 points for the conference.
Spring Arbor trying to stay atop the table in the Crossroads League. Well, they've got both these teams, in fact, play ranked opposition coming up on Saturday. Spring Arbor has number 8 Grace. Marian is at number 13 Bethel.
It's one of the key things about the match right before a ranked opponent. If you can stay focused on that match, because there's the natural tendency to look forward. If you can stay focused on that match and grab the 3 points here, that makes everything a little bit calmer as you head into that match that on paper looks a little bit more daunting.
It is Victoria that is standing over this one. How do you want this wall positioned if you're Weiger?
You got to have your last man. You need to go from the post on down. That height needs to be taller on the far side because you're taking up this weak side far post here. And you need that last guy in the wall to be overhanging the post just a little bit to prevent the ball that's going to be bent around the near post, which is further from Weiger.
Everybody behind the ball for Marian have a hit off the wall. Corner coming for Spring Arbor. And this will be their first corner of the match, 74 minutes in.
That's crazy. And you look at that. That's well done by the wall. Here you are. You're taking a opportunity at the top of the box, and you're trading it for a corner kick.
Wow. Blast off the underneath of the bar, and offside is the call. Flag went up.
What a turn. Oh, my goodness. What a turn. Got a defender on his back. Look at this ball. Boom.
Returning to the nice lineup is number 18, Zach Quanti.
Zach Quanti will come in. Valentin Neuhold will quickly head to the sidelines. There was back and forth in half number 1. This has been largely traffic going in Spring Arbor's direction in half number 2. Opportunity here is Reynolds. Knocks it forward. Van Koolen flying down the flank.
I think that needed to be an early ball. Right when he got to the edge defender, get ahead of that double team.
Cap couldn't blast it through. Finds a good pocket of space as Merchant joins the attack. Van Koolen beat his defender, but didn't do much on the cross. Good read, though, by Marian. And a throw-in coming here for the Knights in front of their own bench. Mark Castro applauding his team's effort.
He's got to be happy. You know, there's 14 minutes to go in the game, and you're in it. You're creating chances.
Pritchard on the throw-in. Alb will settle.
Great little build. Bouncing it into the middle, compressing Spring Arbor a little bit, bouncing it back, and then pushing it out wide.
Shots in this half, 6-4 in favor of Spring Arbor. Only goal of the half belongs to the Cougars. Intalo, his 7th of the season. Good touch by Reynolds. And Reynolds fouled. Easy whistle there against Francis Quashie. That gives chance for Marian to throw a bit more numbers forward here. 5 saves so far for Brendan Weiger. Just 2 for Matt LeBlanc.
I'll tell you, this is virtually the same spot in the first half where he delivered a ball just at the top of the 6.
Reynolds, good bending ball in here. This time Spring Arbor got ahead to it first. Good follow-up there by Quanti. Now Cap slides it through Van Koolen. Didn't get there in time. Yep. Assistant referee on the other side had the flag up.
It's a clever ball. The defender had their legs spread. He just little toe poke through for Van Koolen.
Throw-in coming for the Knights. Marian looking for their first positive result since a 3-1 win here against St. Francis of Joliet some 3 weeks ago. Schneider. Poked away by Pritchard. Now Reynolds. Will switch the side of the attack. Quanti. Good quick one-touch football, and that will be a foul. That will be a stoppage, and that will be likely a card being shown to Aiden Messenger.
Good spot. Great opportunity.
Gonzalez went flying on that play. And not surprisingly, it's Reynolds that heads across the park to send it in. Alva's already headed one in of the group that is lined up to make runs at the edge of the 18. And Merchant using his 6'1" and 200-pound frame to create a little space.
I like the 2v1 on the ball.
Reynolds, headed by Albin, kisses it off the post. Give the freshman the brace. Give Reynolds his second assist. And the entire roster heads the corner flag to celebrate. 3-2 Knights with 12 minutes to play.
Oh, my goodness. Reynolds has it dialed up today on the restarts in. Everything is just out of reach of the goalkeeper. Lays it up there and says, let's get a hungry Knight to go get it.
Alva plays bigger than 6'1" and 185 would indicate. But that is a young man that if he stays here, I think has a chance to be a true impact player for this program for years to come.
He's definitely put an impact on this game tonight. Now it's seeing it out. If you're Marian, now it's seeing it out. Don't get stretched. Keep your shape. Keep the ball if you can. 12 minutes is a lot of time.
Ball takes a turn off the defender, which is why Weiger hustles
Well done.
and kept it in play. By the way, this ties that earlier victory against St. Francis for the second most goals scored in a Marian match this year in terms of by the Knights. They had a 4-2 win that we televised against Lords out of Northwest Ohio here on ISC back on August the 27th.
And you needed it after a rough 4-game stretch. You didn't need a 1-0 victory. You needed to show that you can put the ball in the net multiple times.
At the edge of the 18.
Trouble.
Blast and right at Weiger.
Well held.
That was a hit from Intalu and directed it right at the chest of the third-year netminder for Marian.
Well held because you got Voigt that's popping right into the 6 looking for any ball that gets spilled.
See if the Knights might try to slow the pace a little bit. Sitting on a 1-goal advantage. Neuhold will return. Yes. See exactly who's coming out here.
Tell you what, if you can get 45 seconds off of a confusing sub, make confusing subs happen.
So they got 12 on the park right now. They got to wait. Gonzalez will finally exit the facility. He just killed 30 seconds off right there. Opportunity here, 2v3. Pritchard back defensively. Marian sending more numbers back, and Merchant able to hold up his end of the bargain. Quanti was the player that knocked it free from a Spring Arbor attacker. Withrow has a quarter of the field to his lonesome here. That is in a non-threatening position. Here's Victoria. Good read by
Great step.
Neuhold.
Oh, a little heavy touch.
That ball takes a turn off of him as well. Throw in coming here for Spring Arbor.
You look at that and you start salivating. You're thinking, all right, I'm not only going to change the field position in this game, but it's going to take another 30, 40 seconds before they're able to get possession and move back. And then the heavy touch puts you right back.
And Van Koolen
defending.
Draws the foul. And again, no need for a quick every restart can be contemplated if you wanted to. Marian elects to play it out to Cap. Cap's not walking to the corner flag just yet. Well defended by Spring Arbor. But Neuhold saw that pass for Intalu developing. Now Blanco. Pritchard in retreat mode all the way back to Weigert. Infraction against Spring Arbor.
Slow that play down.
Marian is proud to partner with the Tom O'Brien Automotive family as an athletic sponsor. Thank you to the O'Brien family for your support of the Knights. At the edge of the 18.
What a ball in. Terrific job. I think that screen just battling for it.
Now subs for Marian, Doughty, and Hooker will return. Cameron. And this is a walk to the corner flag, which again will take more time off the clock. It's Green that exits in Doughty's position. Marian elected to try to play this for possession, but couldn't hang on to it. But you'll notice they kept their defenders back on that one. Alwell racing back into position.
Well, they got out of it. That was the last thing that you wanted to see was a corner kick turning into a transitional opportunity for Spring Arbor.
Restart coming. A little further away from the spot the official had pointed to. Less than 6 minutes to play in tonight's match. And foul given. Assistant referee helps raise the flag. It was outside of the 18. Yeah. Kaku draws it.
Unfortunate. I mean, great touch by Kaku to create some space, but he's not that dangerous there if you run with him. He doesn't have the angle to get it in, but you bail him out here, and now you give them a good look at the goal.
Neuhold commits the foul. Kaku, the senior from London, England. A little worse for the wear after the bump. This is opportunity 5 or 6. Within striking distance of goal on a set piece that Spring Arbor is at. Lots of traffic in front of Weigert. Looking back post. And that'll be a goal kick.
That's the second time they've tried that, and it's an effective ball. Overhit everybody. Draw everybody's attention to the back post, have somebody there to collect it, head it back across the box, and see if you can just get somebody, just get a piece of it as it comes back through.
My friend, I neglected to answer your trivia question from earlier.
Do you need to repeat it?
Please repeat it.
Okay. So this former Indiana Fire product went on to score 23 goals for Spring Arbor during his career, and then went on to play for the Charlotte Eagles, Union Omaha, and is now with FC Tucson.
Good pressure applied here.
Look out.
In a tough spot. LeBlanc able to get it.
Great energy.
I believe Jake Kroll is the answer you're looking for, correct?
Close. It's Jacob.
Oh, okay.
Rakestraw, you never cease to amaze me, my friend. I think they've got another alum that is Landon Donovan's assistant.
With the San Diego Loyal?
But outside of being another USL championship team, I couldn't find an Indy connection.
That's going to be a foul against Marian.
Yep.
And it'll stop the clock as well. So 3:39 left to go in this one. And another card. This is directed at Blanco. So third card to a Marian player of the half, and they have all led to dangerous set-piece opportunities. That was McCallow that
Yellow, Marian, 39, Victor Blanco.
drew the foul.
The other part, too, is it stops the clock. The
Yep.
one thing that is not the friend of the Marian Knights right now is a stopped clock. They just need to see out this last 3.5 minutes, get back on the winning side.
Victoria standing over it once again. Ball sent in.
Well won.
Alb won that header too. Doing it on both ends of the field. Al Rashed couldn't maintain possession. That ball struck Reynolds from a teammate, and again, the Spring Arbor players aren't happy, but when you see a blow to the head like that, referee's going to stop it every time. So it'll be a drop ball, I would think, that gives the ball back to Spring Arbor. So you hate, I wouldn't say it was a goal-scoring threat, but clearly Spring Arbor was on the front foot there,
Right.
but you err on the side of safety, hence the whistle. Giveaway here. Just one defender back. Goalie's way off his line. Do you give it a hit here? Just still waiting. Van Koolen tried to play it to Cap. What should Van Koolen have done in that scenario, Brad?
I think with 3 minutes to go, if you're able to just navigate it into the corner and maybe earn a throw-in or a corner kick, you're able to virtually kill this game off.
That cross from Voigt didn't find its target, but also didn't steer out of bounds. Now, all swept back to the back line by Marian with 2.5 minutes left to play. Good-looking ball here. Weiger couldn't get there. It's headed home. Spring Arbor has leveled. Trevor Kaku with the third goal for the Cougars.
Hit just over the top in no man's land. Weiger's hoping the defender is going to nick a piece of this and just get to it and prevent it. Everybody's looking at somebody else to come get that ball.
Trevor Kaku gets his 5th goal of the season. 3-all with 2:19 left to play. What a game.
6 goals.
I think both teams feel like they could have had 3 points tonight. Perhaps a point aside is a fair result. And obviously when you're the road team, you feel better about the draw potentially than the home side. And Spring Arbor going to keep battling the chance to try to find a 4th and take all 3 points back to Michigan with them. Al Rashed, Victoria. Ball sent in. Pritchard won that header. Foul against Spring Arbor. Marian will restart as quickly as possible. We talked about this Spring Arbor team. Had 23 goals in 9 matches coming in. They have certainly lived up to their offensive billing. And that's where we point out, in previous years, we would have played for a golden goal. Not this year. We'll save added time, or overtime rather, for conference tournaments. And Talu, 1v3, couldn't get it back to his feet. Merchant sweeps it away.
All right, they're not done.
1 minute remaining. 1 minute.
For Schneider, headed back to the edge of the 18, swept sideways by Marian. And less than 60 seconds to play. That'll be a foul against Spring Arbor. Restart coming from Neuhold's spot at the edge of the 18.
When you look at a game like this, and Marian's had a tough stretch over the last 4, if you were to say, hey, a team that's scoring at Spring Arbor's rate, would you take a 3-3 draw and get a point out of it and get back into that, confident pulling a result out of matches? I think they would have said yes. But you take a look at how it developed with the goal in the last couple minutes, and it's like, no, it doesn't feel like it's a positive result.
Ball at the edge of the 18. It'll roll all the way to LeBlanc.
9,
and you hear the countdown from Mitch Huppert, and certainly it appears that the points will be halved this evening. 3 goals apiece, but not 3 points apiece. Entertaining. Fun match between Spring Arbor and Marian. Brad, your final thoughts on this one?
I'll tell you, it's a impressive performance by Marian. When you go down in the first 7 minutes of the match, you battle back and you actually get that second one, you take the lead. Then to give it up and fight back and get that lead again, there's a lot of positives you can pull from this. If you're a Marian Knight fan, you got to think to yourself, okay, now the ship is turning a little bit. Let's go. Let's get this next one.
My friend, I'm glad your voice made it through.
Thank you.
Thanks for joining me. Good luck against Asbury College on Saturday, and I will see you at the mic on Saturday night.
Sounds good, brother.
For Brad Hunter and our entire ISC Sports Network crew, this is Greg Rakestraw. Good night from St. Vincent Field. Goals aplenty. 3 for each side. In fact, and when this play happened 8 minutes in, that was a sign of things to come. Marian led 2-1 at halftime. It was 2-2 early in the second half. Both teams would find one more goal, the last belonging to Spring Arbor and Trevor Kaku, that would have this match leveled at 3 goals apiece. Good night from Marian, and thanks for watching on ISC.
Who's got time for hot dogs and disco music? Your mind's cluttered with thoughts of commercial waste removal. So thank the good Lord above for Ray's Trash. Ray's will collect the intolerable rubbish at all your company's locations up to 6 times a week. That's 42 times in dog weeks. They shred documents and recycle too. And Ray's has roll-off containers for big loads, like construction waste or when your giant dies. Got a business? Get yourself to raystrash.com.
Ray'sTrash.com.
Ray's Trash.
Meet Chip. 30 years ago, he started a small business with a big idea. Today, there's a new building, a new fleet of equipment, and a new era of leadership. But we know Chip, and at Indiana Members Credit Union, we know he plans to keep growing, building business with the next generation. IMCU is here to help with secure and simple account management tools and commercial financing to grow business. Today, it's all about Chip. Tomorrow, it's all about you. Because at IMCU, it's you that matters.
Pepsi's always had great taste. Today, try great taste with zero sugar. This is the Pepsi with zero compromises. This is Pepsi Zero Sugar.